What's up, guys? It's Anthony, AB Fitness Center here. Tonight we have an awesome episode for you. I am live currently at AB Fitness Center. I had some things I had to do here, so I'm here live getting stuff done. But today we're going to talk about the 8 things you need in order to lose weight and lose body fat. If you're listening to this after the fact, make sure you friend me on Facebook, Anthony Bevilacqua, and you could catch these live and you could watch them and you could ask questions or whatever else. So let's get rolling. Let's just get right into this today. The 8 things you need in order to lose weight. What are those 8 things, right? So there's a lot of things that people think they need to do in order to lose body fat, right? But there's only these 8 important things that are going to take you to the next level, okay? So the first one is a calorie deficit. So what a calorie deficit basically means is that you're eating less calories than you're burning. All right, so that is extremely important if you want to lose body fat. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you will not lose any amount of weight. Now, what most people do is they think they're eating healthy and they actually end up overeating. So they say, okay, I want to lose a little bit of body fat, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just eat healthy. And most of the time when people eat healthy like that, quote unquote healthy, they eat healthy foods, but they overeat all the healthy foods. So even though you're eating healthy, if you overeat, you're still going to gain body fat and still going to gain weight. It's all about calories in versus calories out. So if you're overeating even the good stuff, you're going to end up gaining weight. So for example, if you need, let's just say 1,300 calories to lose weight, and you eat 1,400 calories, even though it comes from grilled chicken, olive oil, nuts, sweet potatoes, you're going to gain weight because you overate the amount of calories that you needed. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But you have to make sure you know how many calories that you're supposed to be eating and then make sure that you eat under that. That's going to be the most important thing when it comes to losing body fat. That's the first key right there, is making sure that you're not eating more calories than you need to. Because again, like I said, it doesn't matter if it comes from something really healthy. Overeating is overeating. All right, so that's the first thing. You need to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit. Second thing is, I want you to eat more whole foods, less processed foods. Obviously, the goal is always to look better, right? Everybody wants to look better. We all want to perform better. But there is something to say, especially right now, with health. Health is extremely important. If you want to improve your immune system, if you want to come off your medications that you've been on, obviously the goal should be to live a long, healthy life. So in order to do that, you need to make sure that you're eating more whole foods and less processed stuff. Now, there's a time and place for everything, and we always talk about flexible dieting and making sure that if you do want something, you fit that in. But I would say 80% of the food that you normally eat should generally come from whole, nutritious foods. So that means things that are, in my opinion, in my definition of what a whole food is, it's stuff that's natural. So stuff like, sweet potatoes, any type of lean meats, obviously vegetables and fruits, things like that, things that are minimally processed. And that's, you want to make sure that 80% of your food comes from that, again, just from a health standpoint. So you want to make sure that you're doing more of that. The third thing that you need to do is you need to eat more protein. So protein is the key to losing body fat and putting on muscle and changing the way your body looks. The more protein you consume, basically the better your body's going to end up looking. So protein is the building block for muscle, which basically means that the more protein that's in your system, the more tools the construction workers have at that site to build the house, which is your new body. So this is why protein's so important. Protein has a couple of things that benefits also. The more protein you eat, the more calories your body has to burn in order to burn off that protein, okay? Those calories from protein, so you get a calorie burning effect from protein. And protein keeps you fuller longer. So this is why higher protein diets have been shown time and time again, scientific-wise, to lose body fat. And remember, people have been losing body fat for years just having a higher protein diet. The average person has about 60 to 70 grams of protein a day. And I would say typically you probably want to start by at least eating 1 pound per gram of body fat. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be having 200 grams of protein a day. Okay? So that's your next one right there. You want to eat more protein. All right? The fourth thing is you want to work out with weights. Weight training is so important to changing your body. Okay? weight training is that stimulus to tell your body, hey, you need to maintain muscle and you want to get rid of the body fat. So working out with weights is so important to actually changing the way that your body looks. So let's just, for argument's sake, say that you have 100 pounds of muscle on your frame right now. You listening to this, you have 100 pounds of muscle on your frame. So what that means is that 100 pounds is going to help you burn roughly around 1,100 to 1,200 calories at rest. So that means that if you lie down in bed like that and you don't move, you're going to burn about 1,200 calories just from the amount of muscle you have. So the cool thing about being in the gym is I actually have a display. So this is what 1 pound of muscle looks like, okay? And this is what 1 pound of body fat looks like. So two different things. You can see they're both a pound, but look how much more space the body fat takes up. But when you're trying to gain more muscle, you need a stimulus to maintain this tissue. And that stimulus is going to be weights, okay? So let's just say for argument's sake, you're squatting and you squat with 10 pounds. Your body says, okay, I need to be able to maintain this amount of tissue so I could do that squat again. And then over time, you build up a significant amount of strength. Now you're squatting with 20 pounds or 30 pounds. Your body says, wait a minute, I need to put on more of this tissue so I can go ahead and do that again. Okay, so that's why muscle is so important, because the more of this tissue you have, the more calories you're going to burn at rest. Okay, so that's what 1 pound of muscle looks like. So this is really important. And if you look at this, what does this kind of look like to you? It looks like meat. So it's protein, right? So protein is muscle, muscle is protein. So when we consume protein, we consume the building blocks of muscle. Okay, so that's the other thing. You need to focus on working out with weights. Okay, and that'll help burn off more of this. Your ugly body fat. You see those dents in there? That's cellulite. That's what cellulite looks like. So cellulite is really just body fat. Okay? The fifth thing that you need to do in order to lose more body fat is to not rely on cardio. So what that means is most people use cardio as their crutch. All right, I want to lose body fat, so I'm just going to do a bunch of cardio and I'm going to burn a ton of calories. And yeah, you will burn a ton of calories. But most of the time when you end up doing a lot of cardio, you end up burning a lot more of this, a lot more muscle, okay? And as we just learned, the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is. So if you're burning this, you're actually going to slow down your metabolism. And yes, you'll burn a little bit of body fat when you do cardio, but this is why long distance runners really don't have a lot of muscle, because their bodies burn through it. All right, does that make sense? So, and it versus like looking at like a sprinter sprinting is pretty much essentially weight training. It's a short duration of exercise. They are a lot more muscular, okay? So they have a lot more muscles. They have faster metabolisms, and they usually have better builds. So this is why cardio is not always the thing that's going to take you to the next level. So cardio is something that I would never focus on, especially if you're a busy person, you don't got a lot of time to commit to this. I would definitely focus on building muscle with weight training, all right? The sixth thing that you need in order to lose body fat is time. Time is so important. This is not a fast process. So this is 1 pound of body fat, okay? Typical, healthy, sustainable, long-term body fat loss is half of this to 1 of this a week. That's not fast. That's very slow. So if you want to lose 40 pounds and you want to keep that 40 pounds off, it's going to take you 40 weeks to do that. Again, this is 1 pound. And remember, people get discouraged, like, oh, I only lost 1 pound. But think about this dispersed over your whole body. It's a lot. And like I said, ladies, you see those dents in there? That's cellulite. Okay, so body fat is what we're after losing. So you need time for it. So, don't be discouraged if you only lost half a pound this week. That's great progress, because when you lose weight doing it correctly, you're actually losing this. You're not losing any of this. So you're actually maintaining this and you're losing this. So it kind of looks like this, right? So we have our layer of bone. All right, I can't have that many hands, but can I put it on my desk? No, it won't work. All right, so actually maybe it will. So this is our layer of bone, and this is a tape measure, by the way. Okay, then we have our layer of muscle. Then we have our layer of body fat, and then we have our skin. Okay, this is how everyone looks. And the body fat typically is what you can grab in the middle, right? That's that body fat. That's that, when you grab on your stomach, that area. Yeah, that's this. So basically what we want to happen is we want to lose the body fat. We want to lose this space between the skin and the muscle. So what starts to happen when you do things correctly is you actually start to pull that body fat away. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you're left with just the muscle and the skin. Okay, so there's no fat layer in between. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. But that's what we really after, losing body fat. And like I said, that takes time to do. It's not something that happens overnight. Okay, like I said, healthy, sustainable, long-term fat loss is anywhere between 0.5 pound to 1 pound a week. It's not a fast process by any means. So and that brings me to my next point. Number 7, you need to have patience. Patience, patience, patience. Because this is not a fast process. When you're trying to do it correctly and have transformations like the ones behind me, it's going to take time. It's going to take dedication to it, and it's going to take patience. You can't, diet for 1 week and expect everything to happen tomorrow, because it's not gonna. It's gonna be slow. But what it's gonna be worth it's gonna be worth the investment in this time. It's gonna be worth the investment in yourself. You're gonna get healthier. You're gonna improve your strength, and you're gonna end up losing this for good. And it's not gonna stick around. And that's the point. So you gotta have patience. Patience, patience, patience. I've been doing this a long time. Pete and Laura have been doing this a long time. And we've been improving year after year, but it takes time to get there. I didn't work out like this for 12 weeks and get to where I am. I didn't become a top level power lifter overnight. It took years. It doesn't, years of lifting and making mistakes and coming back. And then that's all normal. That's all part of it. You have to make mistakes in this process. It's not a fast thing, and you have to learn from your mistakes. And one of the things that I tell everybody all the time is it's like a science project. Your body is an experiment. And you have to figure out what works for you and what we have to do to get you to the next level. And you're experimenting with your body. Certain foods work for certain people. Like for me personally, I don't get much. Like when I have sweet potatoes, everybody says it's a great food. I don't know. I just don't feel right when I have sweet potatoes. I feel bloated. I feel this. I feel that. I feel better on bread. The more bread I eat, I feel like I get leaner. I feel more energetic. And whereas somebody else might be different from that. But that's all the process that you have to figure out what foods work for you and what foods don't. I have people who literally will have red meat and will gain 3 pounds on the scale because their body just holds on to it. Everybody's built a little differently, and your body's an experiment. You have to kind of figure out what's going to work for you in that sense. But it's going to take patience. It's going to take time. This is not, and that's why we tell everybody all the time, we're not a quick fix facility. Okay, we don't. If you're coming to me and you want to lose, you want to look good this summer, and summer's in 2 months or whatever, a month now at this point, just go on one of those crash diets. Not to say you're even going to look good at that point, but this is not the place for you. If you really want to change your body, change your life for the better, this is what you have to do. You need that patience. And the last thing that you need is consistency, okay? You have to be consistent. Sorry, I had a call. Hopefully it didn't cut me out. But you have to be consistent. Okay, consistency is going to be the thing that's going to take you to the next level, because repeating this process day in and day out over time will lead to more results. Okay, so I'm going to recap all the 8 things that you need in order to lose more body fat and gain more muscle and change the way your body looks. Again, the goal is to get rid of this stuff. You have to be in a caloric deficit, meaning you have to eat less calories than you consume. It doesn't matter if it's from healthy food. If you're over consuming it, you're going to gain more of this. No bueno. Okay. Number 2, for health purposes, you have to eat more whole foods. Okay. Obviously, the goal is to look better, but the goal is also to be healthier. So eat more whole foods. 80% of your diet should come from whole foods. It's just better for your overall health. Obviously, the goal is not to be on medication your whole life. And especially right now, a strong immune system is very, very important. Number 3, eat more protein. Okay. Protein is muscle, muscle is protein. So the more protein we consume, the better off we are to maintaining the amount of muscle mass that we have. Number 4, you want to work out with weights. Okay, weight training is going to tell your body, hey, I need to be able to maintain this tissue, so I need to burn more of this. Whereas which is my next one, don't rely on cardio to lose body fat. When you do cardio, you end up burning both. And that's not good, because now you're getting rid of this, which is going to slow down that metabolic rate. Okay, it's going to take time. That's number 6. It's going to take patience. That's number 7. And it's going to take consistency. So those are the 8 things that you need in order to lose body fat, gain muscle, and change the way you look. If you guys need any help with any of this stuff, just feel free to send me a message or just check us out, abfitnesscenter.com. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.